Hi guys, we're back. I'm sorry if any of you witnessed the tech issues that we just had, but I am Claire Sanderson, the editor-in-chief of Women's Health, and welcome to Women's Health Live Virtual. I'm joined by the woman that you will all recognise, I'm sure, the ever-inspiring Davina McCall. Hi, Davina.
Hi. Oh, it's this technology thing. I am not cut out. Give me a pair of lycra leggings any day over technology, please.
Dare I say it? Is it our age? Because I struggle with it as well, to be honest. And my daughter can use my iPhone, she's 4, better than I can.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the big thing for me at the moment is just trying to get Wi-Fi. It comes in, it comes out, and I'm having to do this on 4G. So I'm sorry if the quality is not very good, but it's phenomenally frustrating.
Well, the whole situation that we're living in at the
Yes.
moment is weird, frustrating, stressful, frightening. How are you doing it?
It comes and goes in waves. I think the big thing for me is I'm generally an optimistic person. I have an optimistic outlook on life, but when life throws a massive curveball, I find it so shocking because it's quite hard sometimes to be optimistic when everything looks quite bleak for a few months, and but what I always try and think about is how can I make it better, and maybe not just better for myself, but better for people that I love or I care about, or my family, or what can I do? Like, I turn into a sort of doer, like what positive action can I take? And I guess the whole exercise thing is a big one.
Yeah.
I can help people like that. And I'm a communicator, so I can help people like that. And I'm trying to be a good neighbour and things like that.
So you've let Own Your Goals be freely available for the time being, and what's the response that you've had from that?
Yeah, well, it was a no-brainer for me. It was like almost the first. I woke up in the morning and I thought, oh my gosh, we've got to let people exercise for free, and we've also got to show them that exercising at home is not weird or scary. Like a lot of people going, I've never exercised at home. This is great. Like,
yeah.
And I think going forward in the future, we're gonna rethink the whole site really of Own Your Goals and the price of it and the costings of it, because gym membership's expensive, and we're not going to have money for quite a long time because there's going to be a lot of catch up to do in the economy and everything. So I think a lot more people will be choosing to work out from home, and I really want to try and make that affordable or free for absolutely everybody forever. So we're gonna see. I don't know. We're frantically working behind the scenes with Universal, who have been amazing. And really kind of, they've picked up the baton and they're running. But we are, we want to supersize it. We want to get like loads of more trainers and different styles, because I don't think there are any sites that collate all these different types of trainers in one place. So that I'm really enjoying that, because I do feel like that is a service that I can offer. And that's so important, to mental health, and we are all slightly suffering with that at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the wonderful things, and there's many wonderful things to come out of this, the community spirit that's come out of it, the fact that you have big companies like Universal forgetting their profit and putting society first, and also even just seeing the children doing the at-home exercises, so I'm sure there are mums working out to Own Your Goals with their kids. I've been
Totally
mixed with my two, with the nation's PE teacher.
Yeah, I mean, he's, bless him, so lovely.
I know, and they're now so used to doing Joe Wicks's at-home workouts that yesterday I had them
take part of the routine.
Yeah, absolutely. 9 o'clock every day they're there. They did it dressed as superheroes on Friday because that's what he did. Marion from Frozen. But then yesterday they took part in Women's Health Live workouts with me, which they wouldn't have done 2 weeks ago. So
Yes.
I think it's opened people's minds up to exercise. There's many more people out running now as well, which I don't think maybe ran before, because they're saying it's a form of exercise you can do outside. So we just need to look for the positives in what is really quite a negative situation at the moment.
How old are your kids, Claire?
7 and 4. So little, little babies.
But isn't that great that you're starting now? I mean, my girls, they've always done bits of sport, but they've got into exercise in later years. They're 16 and 18. But my 13-year-old son, he did, bits of sport at school, but he's got massively into working out at home since this has happened, because he needs to burn energy. He's like a sort of caged tiger.
Yeah.
And but it's been great for him, and I've seen a completely different side in him too.
Yeah.
With the exercises and everything. So I've really, things are different, and in ways that you wouldn't see coming.
No. Who would have thought that we'd be in this even 2 weeks ago? It evolved so quickly and so rapidly and frighteningly.
Yes.
My family were due to be in Thailand over this 2 weeks, and it's amazing to think that we even thought we were going to go when you look at the state of the world at the moment. But let's talk about more positive things. We put call outs on our channels for questions for you, and you won't be surprised to hear that we had many. So what I'm going to do is reel off these questions, and you can give us your answers to them. But before I do that, I wanted to read a comment that a lady called Elizabeth Carroll sent in, and it just it sums up why people are so loving towards you, Davina, especially in the fitness space. And she said, Davina, you are amazing. You're such an inspiration. I started your exercise DVD several years ago, and they've transformed me from someone who hated all PE at school to having the confidence to run a half marathon. And she says she still does your DVDs. So, and I think there's
so lovely
to that, because working out is intimidating, and sometimes DVDs and at-home apps like Own Your Goals are an entry point where
I feel intimidated. If I have to go to a new space, or I feel if group classes, I feel less intimidated in. I quite like being with a bunch of ladies and guys, and we're all there for a common purpose. But gyms, I find enormously intimidating. Places. That is such a nice message.
I know, it was lovely. I read it and I thought that just sums up how so many, hundreds of thousands, millions of women even feel towards you. So many of the women have sent questions in, so I'm going to reel them off. Hayley Adamson has said one which so many of us can relate to at this time. She is saying, how can she find time in her busy schedule with kids to work out?
So Hayley, the first piece of advice that I would give you is, when you wake up in the morning, put your workout gear on. And that's regardless of what age your kids are. If you intend to work out that day, put it on. And that means that you don't have to go and change. If you start in your normal clothes, you are never going to go and put those workout clothes on. So get the Lycra on, and at some point you'll work out. Now, if you've got little kids, like you've just said, Claire, a good idea is to maybe start getting them into the exercise. And then once they get into the exercise, when they see you exercise, it won't be so weird. They won't be so annoying. They might join in. Or with the older kids, my girls do Own Your Goals with me. And if they're sort of difficult teenagers, try something like dance. You could get on the Wii, do Just Dance on the PlayStation, whatever it is. But anyway, Just Dance. And Faye, I don't know if you know Faye Edwards, but Faye Edwards does dancing on Own Your Goals. Her dance classes on Own Your Goals are amazing. We laugh so much, and we so go for it when we do the dancing with Faye on Own Your Goals. So that is really good fun for all the family. Try and make it a family affair if you've got kids. Everybody's got to join in, because you know what? They need to exercise too at the moment. But Hayley, good luck.
Thank you. And Abby Ruffles' question is along the same lines, actually, and Kelly Banyan has asked the same question.
Yeah.
They're asking how you maintain your motivation, and Kelly is saying that she is struggling to find the motivation from desk to sofa to working out. And I can empathise with this. Week one of working from home, I was all over swinging the kettlebells in the garden, and slowly but surely, that motivation is starting to deteriorate. So is that something that you're experiencing? And
I have experienced, I thought something this morning. I walked the dog this morning, and when I walk the dog, I use that as an exercise. I'll either do a bit of running or I'll do a bit of like fast pace, like sort of Nordic walking.
mm,
And I saw a man with headphones on, and I always used to listen to banging tunes when I used to work. And I thought, God, I haven't listened to music. And I almost haven't really wanted to watch television. I'm in a really weird state of mind that is not normal for me. So, this motivation thing, you might even be somebody that's used to feeling quite motivated, and that you're struggling to find that now. And I think, personally speaking, and I changed this after a few days, that it's a lot to do with our routine. Our routine, literally, if we had a routine on a piece of paper, it got torn up and thrown in the bin, and we were all left floundering. And particularly as parents of children, we end up thinking, okay, we've got to keep it together for the kids. We've got to look like we know what we're doing. We've got to, and you're all, I mean, not you, I can't speak for you, but I personally, I was all over the place. And what I then had to do is get some massive structure in my life. Now, look, if you are working from home, that will mean that you need to put some structure in. But think about all the bonuses that you've got at the moment. The bonus is you're not traveling to work. That's going to be an extra half an hour in your day. All those times when you said, I can't fit working out into my schedule, you've got extra time in your day because you're not traveling to and from. But schedule workouts in. I can't work out in the afternoon. I just won't do it. So I have to do it. I've got to get up, work out, walk the dog sort of all together, and then start the day. Unless my girls want to do it, they wake up so late. They drive me mad. I have to work out at like 11 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm shaking them awake because they want to work out with me. But schedule it in, Abby and Kelly, and that's how you are not going to want to work out. It is not a natural thing that you want to do. And even at the best of times, who wants to work out? I don't always want to work out. And I've said this so many times, and I'm sorry if it sounds like a broken record, but you will never regret a workout. Have that in the back of your head all the time. And whatever you're doing, no matter how small, you're still lapping everybody that's sitting on the sofa.
and it doesn't need to be 45 minutes or an hour.
Oh, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
20 minutes. Raise your pulse rate. Get yourself a bit out of breath. Do something where you're a bit flushed in the cheeks. Job done.
Absolutely. What I've had to do, because I'm working full time and homeschooling the little ones, is just do little snippets when I can, So I'm doing Joe Wicks with the kids first thing, and that's, and I'm putting myself into it. But then doing another 10 minutes at lunchtime, and then at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock, if they're having a bit of downtime, squeezing something else in. So it's nowhere near the level of activity that I'm used to, but it's something.
And that's why.
Yeah.
Keep your workout gear on all the time.
I've never been more thankful for my drawer of endless black leggings. Never been more thankful. Right, so Natalie Chilinsky has asked, do you have any tips for ensuring that the food you eat doesn't counteract your progress in terms of your fitness and body composition?
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, food is an issue, and for me, the biggest issue of all is picking.
Yeah,
and it is so tempting. And I have a middle child who is just passionate about baking, and she doesn't want to bake bread. She just wants to bake sweet stuff. And I'm always trying to go, like, can you do anything remotely sugar-free? Like even just a swap with some maple syrup, please, for my waistline. Banana bread. I've never seen so much banana bread. We're producing enough to open a shop. But the thing for me is that I've done a podcast, people. It's called Making the Cut. Obviously, it's free. You can get it in all the usual places. And in it, in EP 7, I don't know, Claire, if you've met and spoken to, or you've had in your magazine, a woman called Dr. Megan Rossi.
Oh yes, no, lovely Megan. She's lovely.
She's absolutely amazing, and she's a good friend of mine. And she came on and did an episode of the podcast with me, and taught me all about gut health and all about fibre and how important it is to try and get as much fibre in your diet as possible. And since then, she's always in the back of my head, all these different types of fibre. You know, if I'm going to make a soup, I just add some mixed beans, or I'll add some lentils, or add a little extra something that I know is good for me. And I am trying beyond trying. I mean, everything I'm eating is home cooked at the moment, which is amazing. We're all making those efforts, and I'm just trying to keep the kids on a healthy, balanced diet. And it's the picking.
Yeah.
Just try not to pick. I mean, I'm about to ban baking in my house.
Yeah.
But needs must, you know, because I will really suffer, you know, and they're the ones that are like are burning 1,000 calories a minute just by standing there. I'm not, you know, I'm past 50. Like my metabolism is a lot slower than theirs. I can't eat the 17 slices of banana bread like they can. So I am mindful, and I'm mindful all the time about food. And when I say mindful, I try not to eat walking or pacing around. I try and eat sitting down, looking at my food, enjoying every mouthful, taking my time, realizing when I'm full, all of these things. But it's massive effort.
We discussed this before about the menopause and our age. You know, I'm on HRT. I'm 41. I went into it quite young, but your capacity to burn calories does reduce, and we've spoken at length about you do actually have to eat less. You don't need as many calories to maintain your metabolism as you get older. And so, what has been the positives of going into your 50s for you?
Yeah, there's quite a lot of positives actually, bizarrely, and I keep thinking I must sort of sing all of this from the highest hilltops, because I remember thinking when I was 30 or 40, oh my goodness, like 50s really square and boring. And I keep thinking I really must tell everybody that it is not that. So I think the benefits of being 50 are you care a lot less what people think. Now, this can be a benefit, but it can also be quite dangerous, because you can do things or behave in a way and you don't really care what people think of you. That's quite dangerous, but it's also quite good fun. So there's that. There's also a sort of freedom that you feel in yourself. I think it's to do with children getting older and being less needy of your every second. I can have amazing chats with my kids, but they are less like, can you take me for a walk? I want to, you know, you're not having to think about them 24/7. It's a different kind of thinking with teenagers. But it does free yourself up to think, having been, and I know not all mothers are like this, but most mothers, we hope, and parents and fathers are selfless. You know, when you have kids, your kids come first always. And my kids always come first and still come first now. But there is times of the day where I can go, oh, I've got some me time. Like, what do I want to do? I mean, I didn't have that in my 40s. So that's really great. And also, I thought I wasn't going to feel like sassy anymore, or frisky, or like va-va-voom. And I do. And I feel like I need to let people know it's all going to be okay. You're going to love your 50s. The other thing that I've noted with friends of mine in their 50s, a lot of them start businesses.
Because they have more time on their hands.
Yeah. And like, they're really great business women. Oh, hello, boo-boos. Hello. This is my cat, who, if I go to my cat, she's not interested at all. She tries to get away from me. But the minute I start concentrating on something else, she's like rubbing herself across my face. I'm like, I'm trying to do a face.
Same with children then. Yeah. Sarah May Lane has asked, how are you navigating the menopause?
Yeah, the menopause. Well, I too went on HRT. I basically turned into the mum that was like, will everybody get downstairs? We've got to go to school right now.
Yeah.
Or it would actually, I probably usually would go, can everybody come downstairs? We've got to go to school. Can everybody come? You know, like I just had a very short fuse. And you know, if the dishes didn't get from the table to the dishwasher, I wouldn't just sort of say, come on guys, please can we put them in the dishwasher? I'd just burst into tears. Or my phone was in the fridge and my keys were in the bin. The glasses that I had on my head, I'd then pick up another pair of glasses and put them on my eyes, and my kids would go, oh, come on your head. Like, just felt like I was going mad. But actually, I give myself a very, very hard time about trying to be a natural person, and trying to, you know, I had my kids at home and trying to not take too many pills or drugs. I'm clean. I don't drink booze. I'm, you know, pretty boring. And I was just like, I don't want to take HRT. It feels like I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing, that my body should naturally be doing the menopause thing on its own. But it got to a point where I couldn't read autocue. I don't know what was happening to the letters, but I couldn't. And even the producer came up to me and said, are you okay? And I thought, right, that's it. It's going to affect my work. I'm, you know, my kids are going to leave me. I need to get sorted. So I went to go and see a doctor. And actually, he talked me through not just the risks, because I knew all of those because I'd done all the due diligence, but he taught me through the health benefits of taking HRT. And in fact, after I'd heard about the benefits, I felt that they outweighed the negatives. If anybody's worried about it, there is a doctor who's on Instagram who is really good, and she's called, I think, at menopause_doctor. I think that's her address.
Louise Newsom that you're
And yes, and
yeah.
she's factual. She's got the facts. She's a doctor. She's got the science. She's got the knowledge, and she's a woman.
Yeah.
And I really have found her immensely helpful, because there's a lot of scaremongering that goes on out there, and what they don't understand in newspapers is that the minute that they say, you know, increased risk of breast cancer, even if it's really tiny, people will come off something. And actually, like, it also decreases your risk of osteoporosis going on HRT, and that is a massively debilitating and terrible thing that women go through later on in life, and heart disease, and many things like that. So, you know, menopause I have found doable with HRT, and I have become a normal person again. And that worked for me, but Sarah, it has to be a personal choice. I am not going to recommend it for everybody. People might have breast cancer history in their families. You have to make those decisions yourself and inform yourself. But it really helped me, and you, Claire, I guess.
Yeah, well, there is breast cancer history in my family, but a lot of the top medics, including Louise Newson, who you mentioned, are now saying that that study was so flawed that was done in the 70s, linking HRT to breast cancer, and there's been so much more research done since. So you're absolutely right. People need to educate themselves, seek help from doctors like Louise online, but there is options out there. And I think there was a long time where women thought HRT wasn't an option because of all the scaremongering, and also the HRT that we're taking has evolved so much. It's very natural these days, isn't it? It's not synthetic.
It's so much better.
Yeah. Another question that came in from Gillette Leslie. She asked, who are your influences, and do you get all fangirlish when you meet them?
Yeah, I mean, I look a lot to older women who inspire me. And usually I look for vibrance, and a sort of talent that I would admire. Like, I'm obsessed with Kate Bush, and actually my hairstylist and makeup artist do her hair and makeup, and I got to go to her concert, and I did meet her backstage, and I literally was just like, I just couldn't speak. So yes, I do. I get really ridiculous. I mean, Helen Mirren, pin-up girl for me. She is so like hot. Like I look at her and I just think, oh God, it's even I'm looking forward to my 70s. Like, bring it on. The 70s are going to be great. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And there's a sort of like a knowing in her that, like, I know I'm gorgeous. Like, I am. I just love her.
Confidence, isn't it?
Yes.
Attractive, sexy thing.
Oh, and isn't that the thing? Isn't that the thing? It doesn't matter your size. It doesn't matter what you look like. There is something, and this stands for men and women. I used to work at model agency, and I used to work on the men's desk, and I've seen the hottest men ever who didn't think that they were hot, and they weren't as hot as the less hot guy that felt amazing about himself. It's so interesting, the impact that confidence has on the way that other people perceive you. But how do we get confidence?
Well, that's it brings me on to my next question. How do we get confidence on a day where you have low confidence?
Yeah, I mean, I've always and I always think, like, it's so easy to say this and it's much harder to practice it. But I've always thought fake it to make it is a really good one. So I am probably a lot more confident now in my 50s because I've lived a lot of life. I've suffered a lot of heartache. I've suffered loss. My dad's got Alzheimer's. My sister died. My grandmother who brought me up died. Like, a lot of things have happened and I've got through it, and I know I'm resilient, and I feel like I know who I am. So I think when you know who you are, you feel like a bit more confident. But that isn't to say that there are moments. So I went to a Channel 4 Christmas party, and I love Channel 4, I did lots of work for them. So I thought, I'm going to go. And I asked a couple of friends to come with me and they couldn't. So I thought, oh, I've got to go on my own. Oh my gosh, it's so scary. So I went on my own and walked in. I thought, just fake it to make it. So I sort of literally, the physicality of myself when I say that changes. So I kind of put my shoulders back. I put my head up. I kind of smile at everyone, wave, like, even if I don't know them, I'm sort of like, hi, hi. And then I walked over, and I'd never met him. I didn't know who he was. I'd never seen him on television because he wasn't famous yet. I don't know if you know Ant Middleton. You must do, because you're Women's Health.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I walked straight over to Ant Middleton and I thought, he's really muscly. I can talk to him about his muscles.
That's your excuse, is
So
it?
I walked straight over to Ant Middleton. I was like, hi, I don't know who you are. What are you doing here? How come you're here? And he said, oh, I've just signed a deal with Channel 4. And I was like, shut up. Tell me everything. And then we started talking. And then I started introducing people. I was going, do you know this man? He's new at Channel 4. I just front it out. And I did fake it. I didn't feel confident when I walked in. But by the time I left, I thought, oh, I've had quite a good night. And it comes and goes, I think. Self-esteem, you can wake up in the morning and put your clothes on and think, oh, I look all right, and then get on the tube. Oh, I remember when we used to get on the tube. Anyway, get on the tube and someone will look at you in a funny way, and suddenly you'll not feel good about the way that you look, and you think, oh, maybe I shouldn't have worn this. It just comes and goes, but it's about that kind of monologue that you've got with yourself in your head. Change the tone of your voice to yourself. Teenagers are really bad at that. Like, when they look at a picture of themselves, they are so gorgeous, and they go, I'm disgusting.
Oh no! And when they look back now,
And I always say to them, if you tell people enough that you are disgusting, people will start seeing you as disgusting. I often say to people, sorry, I'm wanging on, Claire, but I often say to people, words are very, very important. The words that you use on yourself are so impactful, not just for yourself, but for other people. So when I said to people, who was the greatest boxer in the world? I'm asking you, Claire.
Muhammad Ali.
Right. Why is that?
Because he banged on about saying he was the greatest boxer in the world. Yes. Whether he is, I don't
know. I am the greatest.
Yeah.
Like, he just told us relentlessly that he was the greatest. I mean, Trump's got half of America, absolutely falling at his feet because he just tells people how brilliant he is all the time. And even if it's a load of old codswallop, people believe it. So your words that you use for yourself, if you tell people, I'm rubbish at that, I can't do this. No, I can't do that. I've been talking to Henry Fraser. I don't know if you know him. He's an amazing man. He's a quadriplegic. He had a terrible accident when he was 19, and he's on YouTube, on Instagram and Twitter, called Henry Fraser, and he paints with his mouth.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I said to him, I can't paint. I can't paint. He went, yes, you can. You just haven't tried. So I've started sending him drawings. I've started doing line drawings, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
You know, and I no longer say I can't paint. Actually, everybody can do everything. You just try it.
We need to practice. We've got time for one more question, and quite
Sorry, I've talked so much. Sorry.
No. We so appreciate you taking time out your Sunday morning to join us. Several of our audience has asked, what are your specific goals at the moment, and what does the future hold for Davina?
So I have been resting my body because I had 2 calf pulls in both my calves, one after the other. And what I've been doing is I've gone back to basics. I don't know if there's anybody watching this, because I did want to talk about fitness in like starting fitness at any age. And I've literally gone back to square one. I'm not doing any impact. I'm not doing any cardio. I don't know if you know Jackie and Mark, who I used to do my first ever workout DVDs with. I got a picture up actually on my computer because I wanted to show people that on Your Goals we have a get started page, and Jackie and Mark have done all these workouts that are very, very, very gentle, a real start, a way to kind of just ease yourself into your first kind of foray into working out. You can literally do those workouts at any age. There's one on balance, there's one an upper body workout, and I'm just trying to take it very, very slow. And then in about probably in a couple of weeks, I'm going to start working out with you guys, like live. I'll start doing some live workouts when I feel back in form again, and get fit with you. So, and I'll be sort of starting from scratch because I haven't really trained for 3 weeks already. So I've got another 2 weeks to go. So I'm really gonna that's what I want to do. I want to get fit in lockdown.
Well, we'll all be joining you.
Yeah, good.
Thank you, Davina. Thanks so much for spending time with us this morning. You're so inspirational and such a joy to speak to as well. So I'm really grateful.
Anytime. I hope you're okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Lots of love, Claire, and to all the viewers.
Thank you. And guys, please do stick with Women's Health Live Virtual today. We've got many more workouts today with the likes of Jessica Rennis-Hill, Anna Victoria. We have Gemma Atkinson joining us soon for a Q&A. So there's lots more fun to take part in. So have a wonderful day. Thanks, guys. And thank you, Davina.
Bye, Claire.
Bye.